Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 17 of 30 days before Halloween on Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, we're going to be doing some movies I really don't have a category to put them into. They're kind of in their own category just because they're very unique in what the movies are about. It is the five Final Destination movies. So you got 1, 2, and 3, Final Destination 4, and Final Destination 5. The premise of the Final Destination movies, if you don't know it already, if you've never seen these, is basically in each one there's one character who has a premonition of a major accident where him and a bunch of his friends get killed. And because he has this premonition, if you don't know what a premonition is, basically a premonition is you can foresee something before it happens. Like you have a vision of something before it happens, and then it actually happens. In this case, the premonition allows him to save him and his friends before the accident actually happens. So in the first one, I believe it's Devon Sawa's character has a vision of a major plane, the plane that him and his friends are on explodes, they're all killed, and he's able to save them. And then, of course, what's interesting about these films is not only does that happen, but then because the premise of these movies is you can't cheat death. They were destined to die. They were supposed to die. They're not supposed to be alive. And eventually death comes to get them anyways in all sorts of different ways. But there's little subtle tidbits in the movie that tells them how they might die and how they can try and avoid it. And the interesting thing is, I know in the first one they die in the order that they were supposed to die in on the plane. So another way they can kind of predict who might be next. Now, in terms of, before we get into the second one, personally, my favorite, I would say, is a toss-up between the second one and the fifth one. The fourth one was okay, too. Um, First one was okay, but I just like the accident thing better, and the whole way it plays out better in those ones. The third one is probably the worst. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just seems corny, the roller coaster scene, and I don't know, just, yeah. But anyways, in the second one, basically, it's a woman has a premonition of a major freeway accident. Um, One other thing I forgot to mention, in all the ones, I mean, their deaths in like the original accident, they're supposed to die and are pretty gruesome, but the way that they end up dying after the fact is also just as equally as gruesome. And then the accident scene, I mean, the way that some of them die in the accident scene is like major highway pileup accident is pretty gruesome. Like the cop gets taken out by a giant. Basically, the accident is caused by a logging truck. And all the logs fall off the truck and crash into vehicles as they're bouncing down the highway. Well, one of the people that's supposed to die is a cop, and in the accident scene, he dies when a ginormous log comes through the window and takes him out. Pretty gruesome. As well, the accident scenes are also just as equally, or the deaths after the accident are just as equally as gruesome. And like I said, in the third one, it's a roller coaster accident. It seems like as each movie goes along, the deaths after the accident, or just seem to get more and more gruesome. Like I said, these are the first three. Number 4, which they just call the Final Destination. They don't really call it Final Destination 4. Basically, takes place at a racetrack. Major pileup on the racetrack. A whole bunch of people in the stands are killed. And yeah, just again, equally more gruesome ways that the people die after the fact. Number 5 is interesting, even though it kind of involves cars. It's what the cars are on that causes the major accident. This one takes place on a bridge. A bridge collapses, a bunch of people are killed, and it's basically a busload of office workers on a company retreat that escaped death. And I should say, who some of the major actors are in these movies, because like I said, there are quite a few. Like I said, there's Devon Sawa in the first one, Ali Larter, Tony Todd, if you don't know him, the Candyman, and Sean William Scott as well as in this one. In the second one, Ali Larter reprises her role from the first one. And I think that's about it for the extent of the ones in the second one. I'm not sure if there's any in the third one. Oh yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in the third one. I can't remember. Tony Todd's in a few of them. I can't remember exactly which ones. And then in the fourth one, not really any in the fourth one that I can see. Now in the fifth one, you've got, the only one I recognize is David Koechner. Oh, and Tony Todd is in the fifth one for sure. For example, like probably one of the most, just because of how realistic it looks and how they don't cut away when it happens. David Koechner's death scene on the bridge is just horrifying. So the premise is that the bridge collapses because of repair work that's going on. That what they're doing causes it to collapse. So they have a like this. I don't know what you would call it. It's like a mobile boiler thing that they have tar in. Like asphalt that they would use to coat the road. Well, when the bridge collapses, it sprays all over David Koechner's character. He's kind of hanging off the bridge. He kind of fell through in a spot. He's hanging off, and it melts him, basically. It's just so graphic and horrific. Like I said, it's another interesting one. It's amazing that, even at 5, they managed to keep it interesting to watch. So yeah, if you've never seen it before, I highly recommend, obviously, for the gruesomeness of the deaths. These are rated R movies, not for a young audience. But highly recommend any one of them if you've never seen them. And if you have seen them, see them again, folks. They're a great watch for Halloween, all right? That's it for day 17. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow night for day 18.